let's go over the stocks that I'm watching for this week, especially since we do have Thanksgiving this week, and I want to go over on why we might have some very low volume and why you should be really careful this week, and especially taking a look at the setups that I'm watching. I definitely do have a lot of setups that I'm looking at, and especially some of them also being bullish as well as bearish. So this is a video where you guys want to take a look at these setups, probably add it to your watch list if you guys like the setup, but more importantly, make sure you go to tradingview.com, follow along, as well as use my link in the description if you guys have not already signed up with TradingView. Now, if you guys enjoy content like this, subscribe and leave a like, and let's get started with the economic calendar. Now, this week we don't have much going on, especially since we have the holidays, except for FOMC meeting minutes. But my main concern is that we have Thanksgiving coming up. On top of that, next month we have Christmas coming up, and we have a lot of holidays on the way. And usually months like these, I do not want to trade because we're going to have extremely low volume, and low volume kind of means just slow price action, us just trading sideways for a while. So this month, next month, I'm looking to just not trade and to watch the market. If you guys have been following me along for the past 2 months, I usually just go out to Florida or the Bahamas, spend time with the family, because usually during times with holidays, the price action for the stock market is not good because a lot of people are not trading it. So that is my main concern going into this week, and I definitely want to probably start getting out of some of my positions and kind of just chill until 2023. Let's get started with the analysis. First, I want to take a look at the S&P 500. Let's kind of get an idea of what we are looking at the market. So we are actually looking pretty bullish, especially since we are making higher lows. So right now we are in a slight uptrend when we're taking a look at the daily time frame. Now, some are also taking a look at this as a rising wedge, and yes, it really does look like that, especially if it gets tighter. But my main concern is that yes, it does look bullish. Okay, we are making higher lows, and my main price target for the bulls is going to be around the resistance, which is $412. So if you guys zoom out a little bit over here, we have a massive resistance on the S&P 500. Now again, I'm hoping the market kind of drops because I have puts, but again, do not pray for it to kind of go down or up. Kind of play in with how it reacts, play with the reactions. And I want to go over here into this video on how we can actually protect ourselves from the cat puts as well as the Bank of America puts that I alerted on Twitter as well as Discord. So I'll be going over that on how we can kind of hedge against that loss. So we also have QQQ, which really looks the same. Okay, we're just mostly looking bullish. We're approaching the level of resistance. Next, I have Caterpillar, which is a play that I am already in. So again, I'm in Caterpillar puts. I've made a lot of videos on that, so make sure to kind of check that out. But just a quick update that I wanted to leave on Caterpillar is that our theta is getting closer and closer. We're getting closer to expiration, and this week is going to be very important because we need to start dropping. We need to be below this level of resistance, this white line which I kind of drew over here, and we need to start plummeting as I explained on my Caterpillar video. If we take a look at the Heiken Ashi candles, we are starting to make and form kind of these red candles, and we need to start breaking down below. And once we have these red candle signals, we can start to get a move to the downside and have selling pressure. So Caterpillar, I really need to start trimming out of my position for Caterpillar this week, and this is going to be a very important week for Caterpillar. Next, something new is Walmart. Walmart looks very interesting. I've been watching this since really last week, and this to me looks interesting for a nice good puts play. So multiple things that I'm looking at. Okay, the first thing that I'm looking at is we have a level of resistance. Okay, that is the first thing that I'm looking at. The second thing that I'm looking at is we have had filled a previous gap. So the whole reason we had this massive run up was because we had a massive gap, and right now if we take a look at the chart, we have filled this gap. So that is our second form of resistance. And the third thing that I am looking at is at the RSI, as it is hitting the overbought levels. So what I'm taking a look at is a play on puts. Now the whole reason it ran the past week was because of earnings. So that is something to kind of really understand, because it was a catalyst, and especially catalysts like earnings is going to be pretty hard if we can break to the downside. But as well as the technical analysis side, Walmart looks good for puts, and especially if you take a look at the weekly time frame, this could be a great stop loss if we close way above. And I really love the risk to reward. And another thing on the side note is that we do have Christmas coming up, so there are some bullish catalysts for Walmart. But I think as long as if you have a tight stop loss, this play looks good. Now again, technical analysis wise, this looks amazing, but we just have catalysts that are gonna be and just stopping the way for Walmart. Next we have Home Depot, also something very new. This is a bullish play, so I want to actually get into Home Depot right around market open. My main concern right now for really the market is that, first of all, I'm in Caterpillar puts as well as Bank of America puts. So I'm mostly just in two plays, which are puts. And my main concern is that, look, I'm too much on the downside right now. I might want to hedge my position to the upside. So I really love the setup on Home Depot, where we have a nice ascending triangle. So I really like the psychological analysis on Home Depot, especially if we take a look at the 4-hour time frame. As we can take a look at the 4-hour time frame, we have a nice level of support and we have a nice level of resistance, and we are getting tighter and tighter. So the tighter we get, the closer it gets us to actually breaking out of this consolidation period. And I really love this setup. If I zoom out a little bit over here, we also have a nice form of resistance coming in to Home Depot, and I quickly want to go over the stop loss, price target, all of that. So I'm going to color my lines here, and again, make sure to use my link in the description for TradingView. So I'm going to have this red line, which is going to be our stop loss if we close below on the daily time frame. I'm going to have a green line, which is going to be our breakout level. So I really like to compare this play with FedEx, because FedEx was our previous ascending triangle play where it was just consolidating and consolidating. And I really have the same scenario going on, where this is a stop loss, or this was the stop loss, this was the breakout level, and this was the price target, the yellow line. Now, what is the breakout level? So I want to quickly go on a educational type of content here, but as you could see, whenever it hit this level of resistance, it rejected, and once we finally close below that level, it just moonshot. And this was a great play. Again, I made a whole video on FedEx like a while ago, and we had an absolute great play on FedEx. We had a lot of people playing the play and profiting off of that. So once I take a look at Home Depot looks just like FedEx, and I really love the setup. This has to be my favorite setup for this week. Better than Bank of America and better than Caterpillar. I love the setup. So we have the stop loss, we have the breakout level, which is the green area. If we can break $315, this is just gonna moonshot to really our price target at $328. I'm also taking a look at weekly contracts, so this week expiration or next week expiration. So FedEx has to be my favorite play this week. Next I have Tesla. As you guys know, I am shorting Tesla. Okay, let's take a look at over here. I made a whole video on this. Okay, I shorted Tesla and I had a great entry, and I shorted off with TSLS shares. So I bought the share, which is an inverse of Tesla stock. And if I take a look at Tesla stock, I'm actually up over 20% on my short shares. So these are not just options. Okay, not put options. I'm shorting with these shares. And if I take a look at Tesla again, it's just starting to break the level of support. But my main price target, and the main reason that I actually want to go over here, and the main reason that I put on the watch list, is because my price target. So my price target is around $150 mark for our Tesla short position. So we shorted the company around $233. So we had a beautiful play on Tesla, and if it does hit our price target, that would be a nice 35% on shares. Okay, no options. So that is a great play, and hopefully if we start plummeting this week, we might be able to hit this level, and I might close my position on my short position for Tesla. So that is it with Tesla. Next, I have Coinbase. Again, made a whole video on this, so make sure to check that out. If it closes below, I'm looking to get puts. Now, my main concern with puts is the theta. So we have these periods where it just trades sideways for a while, but I'm just kind of watching this play. Make sure to watch my last video on Coinbase. Make sure to check that out. I go a little bit more in deep on that. Next, we have Bank of America. Made a whole video on that with kind of Caterpillar, but again, we need to just be below $37 for Bank of America, just like Caterpillar. And if I take a look at XLF, which is the bank's ETF, it just needs to be below 35. And just as how I took a look at the Heikin-Ashi candles, the trend is starting to turn red. So we can have a downturn to the downside. If we can get some selling pressure, our puts are going to look very nice. But I'm going to be totally honest with you. We really need to start breaking below, because it does not look good, as we're kind of holding this level. So that is what I'm looking at for XLF, BAC, and Banks ETF. Next, I have IWM, which is kind of bear flagging on the daily time frame. This to me looks very interesting. We can play puts to the downside or even calls since we have a resistance. But this looks very interesting. Kind of reminds me of CrowdStrike, which was another play a while back, which I got puts on, and we absolutely killed it with this play. But IWM looks kind of like that. Just watching this, nothing much. Last thing that I want to take a look at is the crypto market. So just going to go over Bitcoin. Bitcoin on the daily time frame has a symmetrical triangle, and it kind of broke that on the daily time frame, but Bitcoin is just bear flagging. It doesn't look good. And I'm taking a look at the chart. Let's take a look at the bigger picture. Our next support is around $11,000. So that is going to be kind of like our price target if it starts breaking that on the daily time frame, if we start breaking this symmetrical triangle. So overall, that is it. To do a quick recap on the market, SPY does look bullish. But let's do a quick recap on the market and what I'm expecting this week. So starting off, again, we have Thanksgiving this week, so low volume, expect that. SPY looks in the middle right now. Caterpillar, we need to start breaking below that level. Walmart looks good for puts, as well as Home Depot. So my main two plays for this week are Home Depot and Walmart. Home Depot is really my favorite play. I really love this setup, and I explained why in the starting of the video. But Home Depot and Walmart look to be like my favorite play for this week, and I'm definitely having these two on watch list watching throughout this week, as well as Caterpillar and Bank of America, where they need to start dropping, or else I'm gonna have to cut off and take a loss, because theta is really starting to take a hit on my contract. So overall, hope you guys enjoy this video. Subscribe, make sure to leave a like, follow me on Twitter, and overall hope you guys see you guys later. Bye bye, take care.